like to officially call our work session to order. Mr. Truesdale, could you please call the roll?
Ms. Davis,
Present.
Ms. Green, Mr. Jones,
Here.
Mr. Lawson,
Here.
Ms. Rawls,
Present.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Present.
Ms. Hill.
Present. For committee business this evening, you will hear the work of two committees, the Administration Committee and the Public Works Committee. We will begin with the Public Works Committee just for the interest of time and the benefit. So I will defer to our Public Works Committee Chair, Councilman Rodriguez, to lead discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. On our agenda today, Public Works Committee will be discussing two resolutions and a bill. Mr. Truesdale, would you mind reading Bill 4 of 2026 into the record, please?
Bill 4, 2026, an ordinance amending Chapter 9-301 of Title 9 of the Harrisburg City Code regarding the municipal waste, recycling, and composting to authorize the identification and designation of business establishments for the placement of the city-designated litter receptacles, hotspot cans, outside public exits, consistent with the findings of the Pennsylvania Litter Action Plan 2021.
Thank you for that. And I just wanted to make it known that this is in collaboration with the Pennsylvania Litter Control Plan as well as the Harrisburg Comprehensive Plan. So the Harrisburg Comprehensive Plan, HBG 2020, is a long-range policy document, guided land use, transportation, economic development, housing, utilities, public service, and natural cultural resources. It sets priorities for future growth and development, ensuring decisions are based on analysis of current and projected conditions. While it does not directly address the litter cleanup, it supports environmental stewardship by shaping policies that can influence waste management, public space design, and community engagement. My hope is moving forward, we can integrate and amend this living document known as the Comprehensive Plan to reflect this here litter mitigation, greener and cleaner city neighborhoods in collaboration with environmental friendly entities and organizations. Under the Comprehensive Plan, under park, open, and civic space, it does refer to pollution remediation and ecological stewardship, which this legislation aligns with perfectly. For this, the rollout is looking for late spring, early summer, and the goal is to have the hotspots cans located at the now defined convenience stores and bodegas that are now defined by this legislation as hotspots. The intention is to work with Mr. Hughes to help identify those entities that we can supply the respective receptacles at these locations. It was just something I was, not only myself, but a lot of community members for as long as I've been on council, have spoke about corner store ordinances and the cleanliness of our neighborhoods. So just to attach this to Hotspot Saturdays, we had a great comprehensive meeting with the mayor's office, legal, as well as public works. And it took maybe a few months to fine tune it and get it where it needed to be in the code. But I'm very proud that we now have the actual definition of what a convenience store and bodega is and are, which we have not previously. So very appreciative of the work from our law offices. So thank you, Mr. Grover and your team. Thank you, Mr. West and your team, and of course the mayor's office and my colleagues on council. And thank you for the long champions of this bill. People like Rafika Muhammad, Mr. Leland Nelson, people from the EAC and previous and eons before that spoke about this and fought for this. And for some reason, whether or not we couldn't just pull the trigger on it. So I'm really happy to be able to bring Bill 4 of 2026 in front of council tonight for consideration. I see Mr. West is with us. I didn't know if you wanted to add anything, maybe talk about the outdated cobblestone receptacles and why it's important to get these in front of the stores. If council, just in case they may have questions.
Yes, please.
If council's not aware, there used to be old like cobblestone, heavy trash receptacles around the city, very outdated. They've stopped being really used for a while. So if we put these in the designated now defined corner stores and bodega spaces, when patrons come out and throw away trash, they will have somewhere specific, not the typical everyday black cans that the customers or businesses pay to have their trash thrown out. These are designated litter remediation cans that they'll have. This way we can kind of keep the city beautified and have a specific place for them to throw their waste. Mr. West, did you want to touch briefly on maybe the outdated cobblestone cans and why it's important to actually use the ones we were speaking about with the holes in them?
Yes, good evening, Council.
Good
President
evening.
Hill, Council members. Yes, for a long period of time, we did have these round cobblestone. They were very outdated cans. They held the cans, and we had to purchase these metal cans to place inside of them. And they were being stolen by the people who were collecting scrap, and we had to continue to replace them over and over again. So we wanted to start the initiative. We started at a couple of stores on the hill where we bought some lids that had a hole in the top, and they were orange colored lids with the black cans. So we start using them at a couple of the stores on the hill, and the program actually worked. You know, it was a pilot, and there were people walking up and down the street. They were using the can because the can was there. At one time, when we took the cans away and we didn't have any cans there, people were just throwing the trash in the street, which made it worse not even for the city looking bad. Also with our sweepers to clean the streets, like they would throw bottles and things like that, and the equipment was not made to pick up things that heavy. So you either had to have someone walking the streets and cleaning up throughout the streets and asking the vendors to clean up the outside of the curb. They would throw things in the street, and the vendors would say, "That's a city issue, that's not my property." And so the cans with the hole in them would work well. It would at least have an attraction for individuals to see that there's somewhere to throw their trash.
And our team will know when to dispose of them. Our team, the Public Works team, they'll know.
Dump 'em?
Yes, yes.
Oh, yes, we'll dump them accordingly, and what we do is we'll place them out, and we'll continue as they're sitting there, people will continue to start to use them, and we can dump them actually every day if needed.
Yep.
You know, because we have someone in the areas 5 days a week. You know, we have a luxury of having a small sanitation packer to go through areas that we need. Once we see the volume that's placed there as they continue to use them, we'll make the necessary adjustments.
Awesome. Thank you for that. I have nothing further, but I'd like to open it up to council. Start on the far right with Councilman Lawson.
Thank you, Councilman Rodriguez, and and thank you, Mr. West, for coming to present and help us answer some questions. What I don't remember seeing, and if I may not have put enough search into this, but is there any penalty for said establishment for not providing or maintaining these cans?
Yeah, so that there's actually a penalty already in the ordinance. Maybe Solicitor Grover can speak to that.
This is being added, this provision, to the municipal, what do we call it? The municipal waste code is what we call it. And so that's a fairly lengthy code, which has its own penalty provisions. And so we've added that, and there's a separate penalty in the health code for litter. So in this provision, the last section that we put in says, if a violation would be a violation of either the litter provision in health or this, it's the penalties in this provision that'll apply in the waste code, which are higher, and it has stages where it can go up for a violation. So first offense is less than the second offense, and it could be a major offense or a minor offense. It's a fairly complicated process. It's not the kind of thing where I think we're trying to penalize the store owners. We're just trying to get them to assist in knocking litter down because it's coming out their front door.
That's great. I just wanted to make sure that we had something set so that we had incentive for people to comply and to adopt and to help keep the streets a little cleaner, make life a little easier for our residents as they're walking, back and forth, coming from the stores, and also for our Public Works Department, as you're saying, trying to deal with what we had before with the cobblestones, or deal with what we had with the trash overflowing. So I'm all for this. Thanks.
Thank you. Is Councilwoman Green online at all? I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to. All right. I hope
Yes, I'm here. Thank you,
Awesome.
Councilman Rodriguez.
Absolutely.
I don't have any questions regarding this. It's pretty simple and straightforward. I know it's something we've discussed several times in the past, so I'm just glad to see it come to fruition. I think it'd be a great asset to the city. So thank you for working on this.
Thank you, Councilwoman. And VP Jones?
Thank you. No questions at the moment.
Thank you. Madam President?
Thank you. I have a few questions regarding the pilot program. I was just curious. Well, first, thank you for describing what a litter remediation trash can looks like versus another one. My first question is, how many litter remediation trash cans were involved in the pilot? Like, how many trash cans total? You said it was in Allison Hill?
Yes.
Okay.
They were on Dairy Street,
Okay.
from 13th to 19th.
Okay. And how long were the trash cans there?
For about 6 months.
Oh, okay. And then my final question, I guess, how will the hotspot cans, how will this program, since it would become official, be evaluated moving forward? How are you going to evaluate the success of this program moving forward?
Well, once we place the cans at the locations, we will continue to monitor to see if the volume of pickup becomes more and more, like we'll start with once a week.
Okay.
As we continue, we'll monitor each area of pickup to see if it's improving or if it's staying the same or if it's decreasing. Because if they don't use the cans, then there's no need to pick them up. So we'll put it like a 6-month spreadsheet
Okay.
out for each individual locations, how many times we pick them up throughout the week and so forth and so on.
Okay.
And we will distribute that to council once we finish the paperwork.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you. I don't have any other questions.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Madam President. Councilwoman Ross?
Thank you, Councilman Rodriguez, and thank you for being here, Director West. I don't have any questions. I know this is something that Councilman Rodriguez has been working with on the Public Works Committee for some time. And I do think it's something that's necessary to continue to keep our streets beautiful. Also, if people have somewhere to throw trash away, 9 times out of 10, they're going to put it there. It's when there's nowhere to put it that litter does start to occur. So I think this will be something great for our city. My only question, well, not a question, but visual. I'm a visual person, so I was just wondering if there's any way to get a picture of what that might look like, or when the initiative, when it's passed, if it's passed, however it goes after tonight, if there's something that can go up on our website just to say that this is something that's going to affect and what the trash cans look like and helping us keeping the city beautiful. I just wonder if that was
Absolutely. Would it be okay if I stop by Public Works, maybe got
You want a picture of the can?
a shot of the
Yes.
cans with the
Oh,
orange
sure.
lids?
Definitely.
Yep.
okay.
Definitely.
I think for us, for the community, just so they know this is why they're out here.
Yes.
Let's work together. This is what they look like. I think, make it a citywide thing. So
Yes.
that's it.
And another thing, council needs to be aware of, that we're not spending any extra money to purchase cans for this initiative on the side. These are cans that are already set within the budget
Right.
for the cans that we have.
Thank you for that extra piece of information. Thank you. That's it from me.
And that'd be something great to get over to our research analyst for the new initiative that she's working on. So that will go hand in hand. Awesome. And Councilwoman Davis.
Thank you, Councilman Rodriguez. Thank you, Mr. West, for being here. You answered my question in terms of how much is this costing the city, but the cans are already paid for.
Yes.
Okay,
We have a
so,
budget of a certain amount of cans every year, and we have a significant amount of cans that we purchased last year that we didn't even start purchasing cans this year, that the money that council and the mayor passed for the cans for this year, we haven't even touched that money yet.
okay, great, thank you. I was wondering if we reached out to the store owners to maybe let them know, to make them aware that these cans are coming, to maybe encourage them in some way. I know in my area, I stop by a couple of the stores, and if I see trash out there, I will actually go in the store and ask the store owner to maybe gather up a couple kids, in the neighborhood and have them GI the area. But I was just wondering.
Yeah, I think once it becomes ordinance, there'll be a rollout, and I'll be working with Public Works to get that information to them and let them know what these orange lids are popping up in front of their establishments and how to obtain them and upkeep them. That was actually one thing that Madam Mayor was a stickler about. She wanted to make sure that the corner stores or bodegas upkept them, and I was in total agreement to that, so.
Thank you
absolutely.
for that,
Thank you.
Councilman Rodriguez. That's it for me.
Awesome, thank you. Director West, is there anything you wanted to add as far as Bill 4 of 26 before we move forward?
No, just know that the cans will not sit and overflow. We will make sure and stay consistent in making sure that they're dumped, so it won't be another waste site for people, to bring their trash to. When they see overflowing cans, then they put their trash. That will not happen. That happened before, but it will not happen again. It happened when we had the stone cans, and it was a mess actually with the stone cans, because they just didn't have the capacity of the holes, the water when it rained, it deteriorated the cans. We kept purchasing cans, and this initiative, because we have holes in the bottom of the cans for the waste to not overflow in the can, the water to not overflow in the can, this wouldn't happen, and we're going to monitor.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And then just another part of committee business, this in conjunction with the EAC, which is now dated to be up and running here at the end of this month. They will reconvene with a full quorum, so very super excited about that. And I did get the mayor's promise that she will be making her appointments, although it's not necessary for them to meet. We are working in full conjunction, and the EAC will be back up and running with their first meeting at the end of this month. So a lot of great things coming out here momentarily. So moving forward, Resolution 10 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, do you mind to please read Resolution 10 of 2026 into the record?
Resolution 10, 2026, a resolution authorizing the City of Harrisburg to negotiate and enter into a lease agreement with Lamar Advantage GP Company, LLC, for the purpose of constructing and maintaining a billboard on a portion of city property fronting Paxton Street, located at 1812 Paxton Street.
Thank you for that. And of course, Mr. West is still here with us. Mr. West, if you'd like to give an overhaul, just a quick review of what actually this resolution is stating for council, please.
You're talking about the signage?
Yes, the
on our
billboard.
property? That's 1820 Paxton.
It says 1812 on here.
It's just
So 1820.
1820.
So just a correction for the record, 1820.
This is not Public Works, this is the business office.
Oh, okay. Oh, we got Antonio. We can move forward. Well, let me see. Are you Resolution 8 while we have Mr. West? That's still the billboard on a portion of the city, I-83 located. So I guess, Mr. West, that was it, Bill 4 for you, and Antonio can come up and discuss Resolution 10 and 11 of 2026. Yes, yes, thank you. Okay. Madam President, would you like me to continue with this in business?
Yes, please
Okay,
continue.
perfect. Absolutely. So I see Antonio here. Great to see you. If you'd like to give an overhaul of Resolution 10 of 2026, please, for council.
Sure. Antonio Magna, Business Administrator's Office. Thank you again, Council. I have Mike Adams here from Lamar as well. I'll give a breakdown of kind of what's in this agreement, and then Mike and I can answer some questions that everyone has. Effectively, for the Resolution 10 and 11, the biggest difference that these two are going to have compared to the other three resolutions is that there's going to be a construction of two signs at the 1812 Paxton Street location. In the resolutions, there's a picture of where the location is and where exactly the two signs will be.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Since you are speaking in terms of both resolutions, I'll just have Mr. Truesdale read Resolution 11 of 2026 into the record, and we can just knock it out one time.
That works.
Mr. Truesdale, can you please read Resolution 11 of 2026 into the record?
Resolution 11, 2026, a resolution authorizing the City of Harrisburg to negotiate and enter into a lease agreement with Lamar Advantage GP Company, LLC, for the purpose of constructing and maintaining a billboard on a portion of city property fronting I-83, located at 1812 Paxton Street.
Okay, would that be 1820?
No, it's
Or is one
1812.
1812? Okay.
It's 1812,
Just for
yeah.
continuity, this
Yep.
way we could keep it all on board. Please proceed. Thank you.
Yep. So as I was saying, in the resolutions, there is images attached to show you where the location of the signs will be built. The key here is that these contracts are going to be for 15 years in length. They start at $12,900 in rent for the entire year, and then they kind of go up depending on which resolution we're talking about. For 10 and 12, or 10 and 11, sorry. They go from $12,900 for the first 5 years. For year 6 through year 11, it'll increase to $14,196. Years 12 through 15 then will be at $15,600. And then at year 16 and ongoing from there, it's going to be $17,160. So you can see on Exhibit C in the resolutions, there's a breakdown of the monthly payments. There's also a second option in there where if the gross revenues for Lamar exceed certain percentages, 15% for the first 5, 17.5% years 6 through 11, and 20% onwards, then we can actually collect based on those percentages of the gross revenue instead of the monthly income if those exceed the monthly rent. So, and then the other key here is that these leases will, for the construction parts, will start either the first day of the calendar month following the date that the construction of the sign is completed, or within 9 months. So at the 9-month mark, the lease will automatically start then.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And the gentleman to my right, your left, if you'd like to.
My name is Mike.
Can you
Adams.
speak directly into the mic, please?
My name is Mike Adams. I'm the real estate director for Lamar Advertising here in Lemoyne.
Awesome.
If anybody's not familiar with us, we're the largest advertising company here in the mid-state. Basically, the reason why we came in here, we used to have a billboard right on that site, right in the corner. It was taken down as part of the transportation project. We first started trying to figure out where to put it back in 2022. It appears PennDOT is finally starting to at least draw some harder lines so we can at least start to work out where we might be able to locate. We're on what I'm going to call, for lack of a better way to put it, a very short timeline. Normally, these things take about 18 months to 21 months to get done, but we agreed to do the 9 months. The key is with PennDOT's everything they're working on out there, and you have an active public works area out there, we cannot interfere with them. We do not take up a lot of space, but we have to ensure that they hit all the traffic flows and everything that they work on. So location is going to matter. Along 83, you're pretty much looking would be what you would refer to as what a stand-up billboard looks like. It'll be 1448, look the same as every other one down through that corridor. What we're also asking to do is to go up onto Paxton Street, which is a little bit different. Now up there, the board won't look like that. It'll look more like the ones you're seeing built currently. The design is a lot different. It'll be, how should I say, fit neighborhood design, for lack of a better way to put it. We'll put Public Works on the top of it, city seal on it. It'll look really nifty. But all of that stuff takes a bit of time to do. If we talk about the leases in general, it was brought up very simply. These things have a revenue share on it. And what they mean is, if these boards do better than what we expect, you participate. You get paid. If they don't, it doesn't make any difference. We pay you that base rent, and it doesn't. I fully expect these boards to do fairly well, especially the one on Paxton Street. If we can, but again, with everything going on out there, it's, for me, is at the end of the day, I've been put on a very short leash in 9 months to get these things done. It's who do I talk to with design? How do we set up someone to help with where these things go? That type of thing.
Absolutely.
Okay? That's really from our side of it where we are. We do over $1 million worth of pro bono advertising in this area every single year. The city participates. We do a lot of stuff with you. So, I mean, that's basically my abridged version. I think I heard on the essence of time.
Awesome.
So if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer
Well,
your questions.
thank you for that. I think Any additional mechanism that can help draw in some revenue for the city
Okay.
is a plus.
Okay.
And by way of advertising, I see it as a double plus.
Okay.
So the one on 18th, that would be at the Public Works building or above the Public Works building, like behind near the highway area?
Yeah, where I kind of see it right now, if you look where PennDOT condemned the building next to it,
Yep.
then they have a paper street, and then they put that
Yep.
wall like tight.
Got you.
So I'm gonna try to, basically, where I'm thinking of it is to hug that building as tight as I can, so you don't have any traffic flow move. So I'm trying not to affect any traffic.
Yeah, no, I
flow movement.
understand.
That's exactly where it is. Before it was up closer to the interchange. I just don't know how that's gonna work right now with PennDOT working.
Right.
There's no way in 9 months they're done. I'm can assure you of that.
My question would be for businesses, entities that like to participate in order to get their, let's say, information, business, event on the bulletin. Is it something we can cross-promote on the city's website to help get that notoriety out? Or how can we collaborate to get even more individuals to perhaps pay for these promotions, endorsements, et cetera? We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Got you. Got you. Well, if someone was interested in promoting, how would they reach?
They would just contact our office. They would go to our sales team. I have Tim Joyce, who's here tonight.
Okay.
He's the vice president, general manager for the office here.
Well, just for the people at home, maybe they're interested in their business. Is there a number or a website you wouldn't mind?
Lamar.com
Lamar.com.
or Lamar Harrisburg. Either one of those two, you search any one of those, you can find us.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I have nothing further. I will open it up to my immediate left right now with Councilwoman Davis.
Thank you, Councilman Rodriguez. Good evening, Mr., I wrote your name down.
You can just call me.
Mr. Adams. Good evening, good evening. Thank you for being here. I don't have any questions currently. Thank you.
All right, Councilwoman Rawls.
Thank you so much, Councilman Rodriguez, and good evening to you both. For me, this is, I don't have many questions. I mean, anything that can bring more revenue into the city, bring it on. We love it. I think the only thing I'm a person who likes things to look pretty, and Harrisburg, we are going through a phase where we're just trying to bring ourselves up and look good while we do it. We're going through a reconstruction phase, and I think as the capital, whatever makes us look that what we are, which is the capital, I'm for it. So as you design, I would just ask for something that is eye-popping, eye-opening, and something that's just going to add extra flair to our city. But other than that, I'm for this. I love it. I would say maybe for Harrisburg-based businesses, if they get like a small discount. But if not, that's okay. Just a suggestion. I'm always looking out for Harrisburg. So anyway, but yes, just please make it eye-catching, something that's going to add to our city and not take away from it.
I can do that. One on Paxton Street will look pretty nifty.
Okay, thank you.
I can guarantee you that.
All right.
That's all. No questions, just suggestions. Thank you.
Madam President.
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
All right, Vice President Jones.
Good evening. Don't have any questions. I share the sentiments with, I guess, all of my colleagues. You know, I'm a big stickler for our city being able to generate revenue. You know, over the time, this can be accumulating, and hopefully you do get those $1 million, $2, $3 million sales so we can get a little more. But I'll just say thank you for doing business with the city of Harrisburg.
Well, thank you.
All right, Councilwoman Green.
Thank you very much. I don't have any questions regarding this.
All right, and Councilman Lawson.
Thank you very much. As a business owner, I worked with Lamar, and I don't know, you said 9 months. I've given you guys a lot of like last minute changes, and you seem to make it. So I think 9 months will give you plenty of time.
Okay. It usually takes me 18 to 21 months from start to finish. So, yeah, I'm on a very short leash on this one.
Right.
Listen, we got to move.
But I definitely appreciate the idea of the revenue share. At first, I looked at the lease and I thought, okay, well that's fine. But you know, again, when I worked with Lamar, I knew sometimes the pricing was a little bit more than this. But giving us a revenue share, I think, is extremely fair for the city, and I appreciate that being part of our contract as opposed to just the straight lease, because you know, in good times you'll benefit the city a little bit more. So thank you. That's all I have.
All right, thank you.
All right, is there anything you or Antonio would like to add?
I really am good. Like I said, we got to go. So.
All right.
Then I got
And speaking of economical and ecological stewardship, I just mentioned Ms. Muhammad as she walked in, and I see Ed. So thank you both for joining us as well this evening. And with that being said, I'd like to add Bill 4 of 2026, Resolution 10 of 2026, and Resolution 11 of 2026 on the next agenda, on our next legislative agenda. And that concludes the business of the Public Works Committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Rodriguez. We will now move to the work of the Administration Committee. Our first piece of legislation for discussion is Bill 2 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Bill 2 of 2026, an ordinance forgiving and discharging 2024 and 2025 city real estate taxes, including interest, penalties, and costs, and striking off tax liens for certain historically tax-exempt properties.
Thank you, sorry. Okay, Solicitor Grover, do you mind providing an overview or a perspective from the administration on Bill 2 of 2026?
Certainly. This is, I think, the fourth one of these that have come through. And just to give an historical perspective, in 2022 or 3, Dauphin County for the first time required everyone who was tax exempt to recertify. And including the city and other agencies and the nonprofits. A series of institutions, mostly small churches, did not respond to that and therefore went onto the tax rolls, although they'd always been exempt. And the county's been very good about tracking them down and getting them to recognize they have to actually fill out the exemption paperwork and get it passed. As they get passed, we then bring these forward to council to basically forgive the taxes that were in place because they should have been exempt but for their paperwork missing. So these are two more churches. The one is Mount Olive Baptist Church, I believe, is the first one out on 14th Street. But Tirsa prepared these, and she's not here tonight. She's the one who did the back and forth with the county. But these are, we believe, the last two that they have had approved. I don't know if there's any outstanding at this point. One of them, I think, communicated that they were no longer going to be functioning as a church at all anyway, and I think the pastor had left the state who was handling it. But these are the last ones of that. So the school district and the county have already forgiven these taxes for these churches, and we are the last ones doing it.
Thank you. I believe I did see the pastor of Mount Olive. She was here. I'm not sure where she went. Okay. So I don't have any questions. I'm pretty familiar with this practice at this point. Sorry, I'm just trying to determine the other church. Is it Agape? Does that sound right to you?
I don't know. We deal in parcel numbers when we're talking about taxes at my office.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Well, I believe that it is, hold on, I zoomed in too far. Hold on, I want to be clear since we named the other church. One moment. Believe it is Agape Tabernacle of Praise, and that's located at 1336 Green Street. And hold on, there's one more address listed, so I just want to make sure that it's not the same.
It would be the same. They just would have
It
two
is the
parcels.
same, it's just-
two parcels
okay.
being put to a nonprofit purpose, which is religious education or religious services.
Okay, so just for everyone's reference, the 1336 Green Street parcel number and 1330 Green Street both belong to Agape. I don't have any questions. I'm going to open the floor to my colleagues who may have some additional questions. I'll begin with Councilwoman Davis. Do you have any questions regarding Bill 2 of 2026?
Thank you, President Hill. I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Rodriguez, any questions on Bill 2?
Thank you, Madam President. No questions for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Rawls, any questions on Bill 2?
No questions. Just wanted to note it's for tax year 2023. I know we know that, but I wasn't sure if the public did. That's correct for?
No, it's actually discharging 24 and
Oh,
25.
okay.
Yeah, 23 is when they got the notice.
Gotcha,
Right,
okay.
and then 24, 25, they got taxed because the paperwork wasn't filled out. So that's what we're forgiving.
Well, thank you for correcting me, so then it's still, the public knows I did. All right. Thank you. No questions.
Okay. Vice President Jones, any questions on Bill 2?
I don't know if this is a question, and I'm very familiar with a lot of the businesses or buildings, nonprofits, 501c3s, state buildings that are exempt from our taxes. There was something recently, I went to the meeting with the ICA, and I came across some information that was very eye-opening for me, where we have at least 1,640 properties that are tax exempt, and over a period of time, equated to 1.5 with a B billion dollars in revenue that we're not getting. And
It's not revenue, it's
not what's
assessed value.
taxed. Yes.
Yes.
I apologize. I didn't mean to say it like that.
We'd be mounting a war against
Right.
$1.5 billion in revenue.
I didn't mean to say it like that. But and one of the things that was put out there for a lot of these tax exempt entities was, can you help, donate something for the city, and nobody gave a penny. So my question would be, I know we're not rewriting law to start taxing non-exempt, tax-exempt entities, but, how does this play out for us moving forward with a lot of these things in this revitalization period?
Well, I'm not elected to anything, so you guys have to figure out how it plays out. But it's in the state constitution, so it's not. It would literally take a constitutional change to change the charitable purposes, and some people can see very easily. And I've been to hearings up on the Hill about this where they've tried to discuss it. There's a really big difference between a local church, who has maybe a daycare in there in the day, during the week, and a services a few nights a week and on the weekends, and a $1 billion medical facility. They're very different entities, and they're treated in Pennsylvania under the Constitution exactly the same.
Okay.
Then government entities aren't taxed because taxpayers don't pay one government tax to pay another government tax. And I will note there are, and I don't know the number off the top of my head because I haven't looked in a while, we do have annual pilots with quite a number of nonprofits who do every year. It's an agreement, and while they put it into an agreement, it's not an enforceable agreement. It's basically them agreeing in lieu of taxes they will pay us an amount of money because they know they use city
Has that been
services.
happening?
Yeah, that's consistently happened. There's not been years where we haven't done that. It's not a bunch of them, and maybe 20.
Well,
Do it. Like UPMC does it.
That's good, because
Homeland does it. Other ones do it.
when the school district acts, and frankly, I think we got some of the highest taxes, property school district taxes in the 15 districts or whatnot. But yeah, I'm glad to know that somebody is doing something. So not again that I was looking to tax them. I know, especially when it comes to our churches, there are supposed to be some of the pillars or backbones of especially the urban communities. So, yeah, that was just a question I had. That was just some eye-popping numbers that I came across and saw. So, just thought I'd ask.
And I realize a lot of people do talk about you gave a number, the percentages to, I think it's just over 50% is exempt within actual real estate of the city. A huge chunk of that obviously being the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
At the same time, because we're here, we may not be able to get some things. If you look at all the grants and then what fire gets, they've put a lot of money into the city of Harrisburg. Could they put more? Sure, but the reality is they have put a lot. Frankly, they picked up the burden when we dropped the ball, when they put us in receivership. Because we didn't write a check for that. They hired entire teams of people and spent millions and millions and millions of dollars, borrowed hundreds of millions of dollars for the parking system.
We need that back. No, go ahead.
We don't need the parking system.
Nah, not that. I'm talking about the money.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Right, but I'm just saying, so they are a partner with the city. It's always a bumpy relationship, but they have us and we have them, and so it's got to be a working relationship for both sides of it.
All right. Thank you. No further questions.
Thank you. Councilwoman Green, any questions on Bill 2?
Thank you, President Hill. I will be recusing myself from Bill 2 as my aunt is the pastor of Mount Olive Baptist Church, so I don't have any comments.
Thank you. Councilman Lawson, any questions on Bill 2?
Thank you, President. And I don't have any questions. I just will piggyback with Vice President here and say that there are entities that we could possibly try to incentivize to offer a pilot as we look to revitalize the city, renew civic pride, and I don't mean the small churches, but I do mean some of the other nonprofits that do have that ability to help within the city, and we'd love to reach out to them and see how we can get them involved. But there is one question. Solicitor Grover, you said that you believe that all of the churches have responded, or do you think that there may be some that probably need to get in touch with us because of this outstanding tax?
So as far as I know from the communication with the county, everyone who is still functioning, and it's still a church, and some were other things than churches that were nonprofit organizations, all of them, as far as I know, have responded. Could there be a straggler? I don't know. The notice of your real estate going up for tax sale, which takes 3 years, if they haven't responded, they'll notice by next year, right? And then they will be here if anyone's missing. So.
Okay, great. And then obviously the county has provided a process for them to start that appeal.
It's a very simple process. You can do it any time. There's a form to fill out for when you are exempt. That, other than like a tax relief, you can only do it one time a year. Exemptions, if you're exempt, you can come in at any time and fill that paperwork out and give it to the county tax office, and they will work with you to get you in front of a board to get a vote.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. That's everything.
Thank you. If there are no further questions, I would like to move to add Bill 2 of 2026 to our next legislative session agenda for a formal vote. Next, we have Bill 3 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Bill 3, 2026, an ordinance amending Chapter 2-301 of Part 3 of the Administrative Code regarding department heads, appointments, and duties, and acting heads to update and clarify provisions regarding such appointments.
Thank you. Bill 3 of 2026 was a request of Harrisburg City Council. If you remember, and if you've been following along with our lawsuit when the mayor sued us, there were 2 pieces of legislation that were a part of the joint stipulation with the court. So this is the first. And what this one does is we've kind of nicknamed it the 121st day ordinance. So as Mr. Truesdale noted in the caption, we are amending the administrative code. So that's part 3 of Title 2 of the codified ordinances of the city of Harrisburg. Are amended as follows. Part 3, 2-300, the Administrative Code, Chapter 2-301, entitled Departments and Bureaus Generally, Section 2-301.5, subsection C, entitled Department Heads, Appointment and Duties, Acting Heads. The mayor may appoint an acting department head, for a time period not to exceed 120 days unless the appointment of such acting department head has been subject to the advice and consent of council. No individual may serve, and this is where the amendment comes, or be entitled to compensation. Now we're going back to the language, as an acting department head for more than 120 days during a mayor's term of office. This is additional amendment language. Without the approval of the council, Upon expiration of the 120-day acting appointment period, if such individual has not been approved by the council as department head or for an extension of the 120-day period, the controller shall be prohibited from approving or issuing any further compensation associated with such appointment. Nothing herein shall prohibit the mayor and council from authorizing an acting department head to serve beyond 120 days as circumstances dictate. So I just wanted to read that amendment language. I don't know, Solicitor Grover, if you have any comments before I open the floor for questions from my colleagues.
Only some context that's beyond, I think, what most people think about acting department heads. An acting department head can be here because the approved department head is on a leave for some reason. So it's used for two different purposes. And if you take, for example, if the director of a department themselves or their spouse had a baby, they would be entitled to 12 weeks of leave, and their deputy would be made acting, right? That's a different thing, but it's sort of intertwined with those two things. When we're talking about circumstances, that's the kind of stuff you have to think about, because if the same family had two babies in 4 years, that would be in a mayor's term, we would be way past 120 days. So that's where you're gonna have to take as a case-by-case basis if there's a reason someone is in that acting role. And obviously a director is entitled to the family medical leave. That's the other side. So there's two. There's the I am making you the head of the department, but historically Harrisburg's had both of those things over the many years.
Understood. But I think, well, we know that this transpired from the other side of the coin, not from a circumstantial situation.
So I am not saying differently. I'm just saying
Okay.
just for what I think the purpose of the statute was from its beginning, it had multiple applications.
Sure, I hear you.
Sure.
I don't have any questions. I know that this is, we anticipated this ordinance along with one more resolution as a part, again, of the joint stipulation. So I don't have any questions. I will open the floor to my colleagues who may have some questions. Councilwoman Davis, do you have any questions related to Bill 3?
Thank you, President Hill. No, I don't have any questions. It's pretty clear cut. We've been going over this for the last 3 weeks, so it's pretty clear what a department head is, how long they can actually work in an acting position, and then on the 121st day, if council and the mayor agree that the acting head stays in that position, then they will be able to continue to work. If not, the controller will not be paying for the position past 120 days. Thank you.
You're welcome. Councilman Rodriguez, any questions on Bill 3?
No questions for me. I've been through the procedure with council as this unfolded throughout court and currently, so I'm privy to this new information and just glad to see it coming into fruition. So nothing else from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Rawls, any questions on Bill 3?
No, I do not have any questions on Bill 3. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Jones, any questions on Bill 3?
No questions, just more of a comment. Again, I'd like to thank all my colleagues for coming together on this and making sure that we were able to get this on the agenda. And actually, this is not new. This is something that was there. This is more about the compliance of that 120-day rule. And I think, this was a good thing that we were able to get it in this form so that it's clearly understood by not only us, but also any future council members and any future administrations. This is a big step in the right direction for us as a whole. I think, again, one of the things I think we got out of this was putting to bed old practices from previous administrations, and anyone that else looks to maintain these positions. I think this is very good, cut and clear, and we're going to stand on this one. That's it.
Thank you. Councilwoman Green, any questions on Bill 3?
Thank you. I don't have any questions regarding this. I think it's pretty simple and straightforward. I think it's a necessary trigger mechanism due to recent events. So I'm just glad we've got it on the books.
Thank you. Councilman Lawson, any questions on Bill 3?
Thank you, President Hill. No questions. Just glad that we were able to close this, which was a bit of a loophole, but that now we can clarify the process and make it easier for everyone, as Vice President Jones said, to follow that procedure and do their job. So we appreciate this.
Thank you. Vice President Jones?
Yeah, just one last comment. Not only do I thank my council, I can't leave the administration, Mary Williams, for agreeing to these things. That's big, and it's another step for us as council and administration to work together, being on the same page to help move our city forward. I think this is big for both of us, for all of us, and city residents. So I just wanted to make sure we gave the administration acknowledgement as this as well.
Thank you. If there's no further discussion on Bill 3 of 2026, I move to add Bill 3 of 2026 to our next legislative session agenda for a formal vote. Next, we have Resolution 12 of 2026, Resolution 13 of 2026, and Resolution 14 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read them into the record?
Resolution 12 of 2026, a resolution authorizing the City of Harrisburg to negotiate and enter into a lease agreement with Lamar Advantage GP Company, LLC, for the purpose of maintaining an existing billboard on a portion of city property located along South Cameron Street, north of the intersection on Magnolia Street. Resolution 13, 2026, a resolution authorizing the City of Harrisburg to negotiate and enter into a lease agreement with Lamar Advantage GP Company, LLC, for the purpose of maintaining an existing billboard on a portion of city property located along South Cameron Street, south of the intersection of Magnolia Street. Resolution 14, 2026, a resolution authorizing the City of Harrisburg to negotiate and enter into a lease agreement with Lamar Advantage GP Company, LLC, for the purpose of maintaining an existing billboard on a portion of city property located along South Cameron Street near the intersection of Elliott Street.
Thank you. Okay, so I wanted to tackle these together. If we could start with Resolution 12 and Resolution 13, since they both involve intersections of Magnolia Street.
Yep. So nice seeing everyone again. Effectively, the biggest difference from the previous contracts is these are signs that are already built and are currently on the location on Cameron Street. So the new agreement here is taking over from a previous agreement made back in 2007. It is now, we're updating it so that it's 15 years in length. The starting rent is, hold on, let me get to my sheet. Starting rent is $1,200 per year or $100 monthly. That will go through until 2031, so year 6, and that's when it'll go up to $1,800 per year or $150 monthly, and that'll be the rate for the remainder of the contract. And then after 2041 and onwards, we either can renegotiate or it'll just continue year to year at $1,800 per year at that point. Otherwise, the contracts are effectively the same as the other ones.
Thank you. I don't have any questions. I'm going to open the floor to my colleagues. I'd like to begin with Councilman Lawson. Do you have any questions related to Resolutions 12 and 13?
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Green, do you have any questions related to Resolutions 12 and 13?
No, I don't have any questions.
Thank you. Vice President Jones, any questions regarding Resolutions 12 and 13?
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Rawls, any questions?
Good evening again. No, President Hill, I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Rodriguez, any questions?
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to commend Antonio for the great work he's done jumping in lieu of not having a BA any longer. Not only has he been productive in showing up and speaking, he's just been able to answer a lot of questions that, we've turned to him for. But I think these resolutions are a testament to like the aesthetics of the city moving forward. Really rejuvenate it, giving it that, pop that we're looking for, especially with all the new construction, with the bus terminal coming down on Cameron. I think the future of Harrisburg is looking bright, no pun intended. Nothing further, thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Davis, do you have any questions?
Thank you, President Hill. No questions for me. Thank you.
Thank you. So, thank you, Antonio. Let's move to Resolution 14 of 2026.
Okay. This is the same exact agreements essentially that I just read out with the same rates of 1,200 and moving up to 1,800. Effectively, the only difference is it's farther down Cameron Street. It's closer to the Elliott Street like ramp there instead of near the Magnolia Street. But effectively, it is the same contract.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any questions. I'll open the floor. I'll begin with Councilwoman Davis. Do you have any questions?
No questions.
Thank you. Councilman Rodriguez, any questions?
Thank you, Madam President. Nothing for me.
Thank you. Councilwoman Rawls.
No questions for me, thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Jones.
No questions.
Thank you. Councilwoman Green.
No questions, thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Lawson.
No questions, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. I move to add Resolution 12 of 2026, Resolution 13 of 2026, and Resolution 14 of 2026 to our next legislative session agenda for formal votes. Our final resolution for discussion this evening is Resolution 15 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 15, 2026, a resolution ratifying and approving the 2026-2028 Basic Labor Agreement between the City of Harrisburg and Local 521, American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, Council 13.
Thank you. I believe we are joined.
We have Jack
Is he
Dean,
on?
who is the city's labor counsel, who was negotiated on behalf of the city online.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening, and I want to thank you. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
For accommodating me by Zoom. I sort of got iced in today when I was in northeastern Pennsylvania, so I do want to thank you for your courtesies and allowing me to participate remotely. As most of you know, we have served as labor counsel for the city of Harrisburg for the last 10 plus years. I am pleased to inform you tonight that over the last year, over multiple meetings with AFSCME, starting on May 15th through the summer, culminating on February 5th, we were able to successfully negotiate a tentative agreement with the over a 170 member AFSCME union. The negotiations were professional and collegial on both sides. It was a pleasure dealing with AFSCME and your employees. And after much back and forth, we were able to reach a tentative agreement. And I have highlighted, and I'll highlight the substantive terms of this agreement for your consideration. Keeping in mind that there's a lot of the back and forth was just language cleanup. For example, AFSCME changed their district numbers. So we had to go through and make sure that was all correct. There was some language in there that no longer applies. So we all agreed that was extraneous. So we agreed to strike it. But as to the substantive matters, there really are only four substantive matters. The first is it's a 3-year proposed deal, 2026 to 2028. We're already into 2026, so we had to consider, we wanted to make sure that these valued employees didn't go very long without a raise. So the other substantive provisions are Article 9, holidays. we have agreed to add another holiday to their CBA, which I believe they were receiving anyway. It just wasn't officially in the CBA. We decided to add it, and that's Juneteenth. So they will have Juneteenth as an official city holiday starting this year if this contract is ratified. The second article that's substantive is the big one, obviously, wages. It's Article 15, Section 1. The wages that we offered for a 3-year deal were for year one, 2026, 24%. We agreed for this offer that 4% will be retroactive to January 1st. So if this contract is ratified, in addition to the employees' paycheck going up by 4% on their hourly rate, they'll also get a one-time check of whatever that 4% is for the last month and a half. We also agreed to give the employees, and they agreed to a one-time $1,000 signing bonus. In the last contract, there were other bonuses associated with it, but we had ARPA money at that time and COVID money. That money is all allocated right now. So the employees agreed to a one-time $1,000 essentially sign-on bonus for every employee in the bargaining unit. There are about 170 employees in the bargaining unit. Year two of the contract, 2027, the employees will receive a 3% raise. Year three of the contract, 2028, the employees will receive a 3% raise. So it's 4, 3, and 3 with a one-time $1,000 sign-on bonus. There are no other bonuses associated with this contract. The final substantive provision is just a continuation of Article 20, the reimbursement for Medicare supplement payments for our retired employees who receive health care or who have Medicare supplement insurance. Traditionally, for the last 10 years, that's been increasing by $10 a year. We agreed to continue to increase it by $10 per year. So by the end of the contract, Medicare supplement receiving retirees will receive $370 towards their Medicare supplement. We also agreed, it's not a substantive change. There is a rule of 80 requirement for retirement, which means that if you receive, if you're 80, which means age plus years of service. So if I'm 65, I have 15 years of service, the rule of 80 will allow me to retire and get my normal retirement without penalty. That expired by its own terms at the end of the last contract, which was December 31st, 2025. So we agreed to keep the rule of 80 in place for the next contract. There are, again, some substantive language cleanup or non-substantive language cleanup items, but everything was very collegial. The union voted and ratified it, and I'm here to answer any questions on these proposed changes that you may have.
Thank you very much. Thank you for highlighting the 4 major areas. I don't have any questions. I appreciated your overview. I will open the floor to my colleagues who may have some questions for you. I'd like to begin with Councilwoman Davis. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, President Hill. No questions for me at this time.
Thank you. Councilman Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. My question is relative to the union actual negotiations. Council, we've been trying to achieve something with a few groups around the city, but I know personally in the Public Works Department, we've kept hitting kind of blockades because we never wanted to impede on negotiations. How would I be able to perhaps get our city clerk to arrange a meeting just so I know different ways we could step around it without interfering with the negotiations or contract there's to be?
Arrange a meeting with whom?
The gentleman.
Yeah, you're not.
We can't?
No, you're not, because that's their labor negotiation council.
Okay. So I guess what I'm trying to get across is perhaps even being more specific with the CEO situation, we've hit many blockades where they're saying we couldn't move forward because of the union negotiations. So if we had people from AFSCME here and we can't speak to this gentleman, who do we speak to accomplish what we're trying to accomplish?
Can you remind me what the CEO is?
So we were trying to organize a contract for litter mitigation through a group called CEO to help end recidivism and give second, re-entrance and opportunity. They said because it may impede on, AFSCME negotiations, we wouldn't be able to move forward.
Not just AFSCME negotiations, it's literally by contract union work. That's
But there is no union work where they're cleaning up the street. So that's the only part that was confusing.
I don't understand. I'm confused.
We had a whole policy work session around it. You were present.
Okay, but I'm still when you say cleaning up the street.
I guess we can dive deeper into it just so there's no tension on the floor. But you were in attendance. We had a whole policy session around it.
I realize that.
But CEO, Ms. Kia Hanser, was in attendance. We actually had the AFSCME presidents and other entities here. And what we kept being told was we couldn't because it impedes on negotiations.
It impedes on the contract. The contract makes them the exclusive performers of certain work.
I 100% understand that. But if that work is not in the contract, how would that be impeding? Like there's no work where they say litter control or litter cleanup or litter mitigation is done by an AFSCME employee. It doesn't exist in the contract.
City labor on city property, including the streets, is AFSCME's work. Whether you have enough people to do it's a different question.
It's nowhere in the contract, though. But that's why I said just to alleviate any tension on the floor, perhaps we could continue the
I respectfully
conversation.
disagree with you that it's not in the contract.
We've looked it up.
Okay, but I respectfully disagree with you that it's not in the contract.
That's interesting. I'd love to continue the conversation.
Yes.
Yep. Thank you.
But the bottom line of who it is, it's the mayor you have to work with to get there. Like so she would work through AFSCME with their people, but it's the mayor bringing in someone else to do other work that is, which would trigger an AFSCME that you should be paying us to do that work, not someone else. But taking care of basically public property is.
Well, not to interrupt, but like you said, it's vague in your memory, but we did have a whole work session policy and the answers we were getting at the time completely different. So I'd like to revisit it if possible.
Sure.
Thank you.
Just for everyone's reference, CEO is the Center for Employment Opportunities. They provide immediate, effective, and comprehensive employment services exclusively to people recently released from incarceration, and they are currently operating in 30 cities. They're dedicated to ensuring that justice-impacted job seekers have opportunities to achieve socioeconomic mobility. Councilwoman Rawls, do you have any questions related to Resolution 15?
I would say good evening, first of all. Thank you for explaining this to us a little bit more. I don't have any questions, really. I think just a comment. I mean, I understand council's duty when it comes to ratifying contracts. And I know we can't particularly talk to the union, the people within this union, the workers who I think are so important. I just hope that they are satisfied. I'm going off of your word that they're satisfied with this contract, that you all did come to an agreement, because it's not something particularly that they can come in front of us and say, yes, we agree to this. I think also being a union worker and under contract and understanding that sometimes we don't always agree with the things that are placed in front of us, and there's a lot of conversations. And sometimes people don't always hear from the people who it affects. So I would just say I hope that this is a contract that the workers who this will affect completely agree with this. That's in front of us. That's all I ask. And if it's not, going back to the drawing table, but if this is something they agree with and it's here, then I hope it's something we're passing that's going to ultimately provide work-life balance for them and great work conditions. So I guess that's my only statement, but not really a question, just a statement. Thank
Sure,
you.
I could briefly respond, is that I don't come before council, and I have for the last 10 years, I don't come before council until the entire union votes to ratify the proposal.
Thank you for that reassurance, because you are who we speak with and see and know and want to get that information from of knowing that we're passing something that is working for the employees of this city that we do represent as well in that sense. So thank you for answering my question, comment, all in one. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Jones, any questions?
Yeah, thank you. Good evening. Thank you for talking about this agreement with ASME, and one of my questions is looking at the medical benefits, retirement, and everything that's in place. I know, again, being a distressed city, I don't know if this is a question for Anthony or this is something for you. Just making sure, again, it's obvious that, the union workers must be, agreeable to these terms, but my question would be on a monetary basis, looking at the increases, the 4%, 3%, and then looking at retirement. Are these things sustainable for our city in this condition financially right now?
Well, I could answer in just on procedure, is that we don't, and when I say we, I'll mean myself because I'm the lead negotiator. I do not make a financial offer unless I clear it through the business office to understand that they understand the financial impact, whether it's 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5%, whatever the case may be. So in this particular case, we ran the numbers, compared them to where we were previously, and for this 3-year contract, the business office determined that that is sustainable for the next 3 years. And this was including analyzing tax revenue coming in, the things that business office does. And by the way, I echo the comments on Antonio that were made before. He's doing a fantastic job. Whenever we tried to crunch numbers, he was prompt getting back to us, which is the key to negotiations, because I've seen far too often in negotiations I've been involved with where my team gets excited and then they walk out of the room and they didn't run the numbers and they can't afford it. We don't do that here. And Antonio is fantastic getting the numbers in hand to us for every negotiation session.
Yeah, thank you for that. And the question I'm asking is a reason, just because council's not a part of these negotiations. We're the last ones to get this, and we, have to put our stamp of approval. And then also for our residents so that they understand what's happening here. So that's the reason why I'm asking the question in the public forum to make sure, again, we just have to watch what we're doing here with the city's, revenue streams, and again, just making sure that it's sustainable. But all the other parts of the negotiations, I'm pretty sure that those union members have agreed upon it, or you wouldn't be here right now. So that was my question, and I'll continue to just keep an eye on that. So again, after the 3-year, I'm sure you'll be back at the CBA table, crunching numbers again, correct?
I'm going to be back at it probably in the next month or so. We have a couple other contracts outstanding. So. All
right. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Green, any questions?
The couple of questions I had were asked and answered, so I don't have any questions. Thank you for all the hard work to get this done.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Councilman Lawson, any questions?
Probably just one question, and thank you very much for taking the time and coming out, and hopefully the roads are starting to become a little better for you.
I'll let you know in about 20 minutes, hopefully.
Sounds good. Just how does this contract reflect to the contract that we're replacing? Are we looking at similar increases, similar bonuses? I know that we're adding an extra holiday.
We're adding an extra holiday, obviously. The raises are similar. The bonuses, last contract, they weren't in the contract per se. bonuses because it was all subsequent ARPA money. So there was essentially memorandum of understandings, which are essentially amendments to the contract, which were done to provide these employees with some yearly bonuses. But obviously, as stated, that money has expired. So there will not be yearly bonuses this year, just a one-time bonus in this contract. Naturally, should the city have a windfall or another area of the federal government giving us an infusion, the city can go back to any bargaining unit and say, hey, we have this infusion, it's designed for this, and part of it can be given as a bonus. But the bonuses are less because there's only a one-time bonus in this contract. And the unions, obviously, the union's well aware of that. I actually brought that up at our August 9th meeting, and they acknowledged it.
Okay.
And the rate increase annually in the one that expired December 31st was 3% for each year of that contract.
Okay, so the 3% is something
Fairly
that
consistent.
we're fairly consistent. Okay, great. So 1 year, we get a bonus year essentially for the
And
first year.
historically, what happened in receivership is they got zeros. Like all of them did for a while, got zeros, which is a tough thing to sign up for.
Correct. All right, thank you. I'm not opposed, just wanted to get a little bit of history so that I had an idea of if this is the norm or if this is an outlier. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. If there are no further questions, no further discussion, I move to add Resolution 15 of 2026 to our next legislative session agenda for a formal vote. We will move forward with our meeting agenda. Next, we have public comment. Just a few housekeeping notes before we begin. Please state your name and your address for the meeting record. If you don't feel comfortable sharing your address, please share the vicinity in which you live within the city. You will have 4 minutes to share your comments. Mr. Truesdale has added a timer to the screen for your reference. And thank you. I will begin to my right. Is there anyone that would like to offer public comment?
Hello, Council. It's Ed Jurek, 1521 2nd Street. I just want to comment on the hotspot garbage cans. Thank you for introducing this. Councilman Rodriguez did send me the bill last, Friday after it got put on the table or whatever for comments, and so I sent it out to our Friends of Midtown. I'm the beautification chair of the Friends of Midtown, so I sent it out to them, and I just want to read just some positive things. Chris Greenblatt said, hey, thanks for sharing. Love the idea of hotspot receptacles. Andy Hughes, who's our vice president, said, hey, this is great. And then I also sent it, Ralph, to Strong Harrisburg. That's an informal group. And give me 1 second. I got to pull up Slack to find all that. I don't know if you guys are Slack users or not, but this Strong Harrisburg group is a bunch of young, smart people that are really interested in the city. And if you're interested in joining, I can send it to you. So I sent the bill, and I put all your comments in there, Ralph. Joe Kavanaugh said, hey, I'm for this. He says, I am, however, concerned that our public trash cans aren't emptied frequently enough, and currently I wonder if adding more cans will affect that. Will Rose said, who will be responsible for identifying and placing the receptacles outside the stores? I also would like more information about when the existing receptacles are emptied right now. Is there a list of all the city-owned receptacles? Are they emptied once a week during trash collection on the street in which they are located? How about receptacles not located directly on trash collection routes? Is there increased collection during times of high-traffic events? So those are my comments, all generally positive. You know, we do litter cleanups once a month, or try to in the summer. And obviously we, want our neighborhood to look nice in the whole city. So just want to give those comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else to my right that would like to offer public comment?
Good evening, everybody. Real quick, name is Joshua Barker. I live in the uptown area of Harrisburg. Real quick, I have a few programs that I do every year. I have a nonprofit called the B Shop Boys and Girls Club. So currently have a few programs that we're doing in March. One of them being a program where we're teaching families how to grow their own food within buckets, grow bags, stuff like that. We know it's very important for us to have food in this time. It's, just tough for some families to have food, healthy food, fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. So we're going to teach people how to start with seeds and stuff like that. I'm very involved also with youth, teaching them entrepreneurship and trades. So this month in March, we'll be starting a program. Every summer I do a program, but this March I'll be starting a program where we're teaching the kids entrepreneurship and trades also. So, I just want to keep everybody posted. I'll have an exact date when we start in March and inform you guys. So, I think it's very important now that we see the school being destroyed over there, that we keep everybody in the loop of teaching our children entrepreneurship and trades. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else to my right that would like to offer public comment? Okay, seeing and hearing no one. Anyone in the middle section?
Greetings, City Council. My name is Rafika Muhammad, resident of Harrisburg, Uptown Harrisburg. I got a little list as I'm gonna be coming around and feeling better. Been down for a while, getting back into the swing of things. There's something I do want to bring up. On my list here, I got air quality, data centers, e-waste, and urban heat island. All of that impacts our community and our city and our residents. But one main thing I really want to talk about tonight is farm animals. I know this comes up over and over and over, and it is in our codes, and I pulled it up, and I had a long conversation with our police commissioner. I want to say we're in 26, maybe in 24. Talked to him in detail about farm animals, which he said that this is something that he's really not a lot familiar with, but he does get a lot of calls about farm animals. So I do know a lot of people want to have chickens and do things, and I get it, trust me. But if we don't have 60,000 square feet of land, we can't raise chickens. You can't raise farm animals. And then after your first animal, then it's an additional 20,000 square feet of land. We don't have that capacity in the city. I think this is something that I would like council to relook at as far as ordinances. And we might have to go after people's pockets, because farm animals do run around. My concern in dealing with food and dealing with food for decades is when we're talking about dealing with chickens and then we talk about influenza, people do not get the connection. I've heard this over the years and have spoken publicly about, okay, well, what are you going to do with those chickens if something happens to them? How do you properly dispose them? Who's going to be responsible for the veterinary costs, et cetera, et cetera? See, a lot of people want to do things and they do want to put it back on the city, and that's not our responsibility. And we don't get any answers. So that's just something I feel that I really would like for y'all to really look into, look at. I have seen pigs run down Jefferson Street. I have seen roosters, and I'm in Uptown Harrisburg. And I do think a lot of it could be because we do have immigrants. I don't have nothing against nobody, nowhere, no way, no shape, no how. But once they come into our communities, they're still leaving from a home that maybe they could do those things. So again, education really needs to come into play. So I wanted to share that real quick with you. Also, I'm a little concerned and was a little upset when I read about a data center today coming in Dauphin County. We all need to be aware about these data centers. Everybody's in this AI thing, AI. And I know my electric bill is going up, and I'm buying generators. I'm trying to take my house off the grid. I'm being very serious. There is no way that we're going to be able to pay $400 and $500 light bills. It's not going to happen. We're going to have people that will just cut off their, and then that'll be another issue that we're dealing with the city. So again, we need to come up with some information, education, and I do know at our county meetings, there is someone that comes and talks about these data centers. I know one of the golf, if I'm not mistaken, one of the golf places in our county is being sold for a data center, and that's very, very bad. We're not going to have water or air, but we love AI, and we don't understand how these are connected and what that means. So if you're concerned, again, about the planet, if you're concerned about your water and air, and you like AI, I would say use AI in moderation. Only when you need it. It's not Google. And I'm not concerned about money as far as this is income, but it's hurting us in the process. When we talk about heat islands, I'll come back and talk about that in e-waste. Ralph, I want to talk to you about getting together on some sites throughout the city, March, April, and May. I'm going to start now. But consistently, how we can keep our e-waste out of our community, off the streets. The city does not take e-waste, but we can have something that we can work together. This is not no labor thing, so I'm not going to put that. I'm doing this.
Thank you for
and
your
working
comment.
with some stuff.
Thank you for your
thank
comment.
you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the middle section that would like to offer public comment?
Good evening, council members. Kia Fowler, North 5th Street. First, couple of shout outs to, I believe his name is Mr. Lamar. No, this one's actually really good. He was speaking with a member of the public prior to this meeting beginning. I'm sorry, I believe he's in connection with Lamar. But he was speaking with a member of the public who had some concerns about the impact of some of the billboards on her local community. And he immediately said, here's my card. I'd love to have discussions with your neighborhood. So it's really nice to see a contractor really trying to integrate themselves into the neighborhood like that instead of just saying, we're coming in, dealing with it. Number two would be, the council generally does this, but tonight I observed Councilwoman Rawls and Councilman Jones trying to really emphasize the point that the public understood what's being said. What's the meaning of some of these proposed ordinances? What is the context behind them? What are the implications of it for those who might not be as familiar with technical jargon or whatever it may be? So I really appreciate your consistency in trying to make sure the public understands what's being discussed and what's happening. Third question, regarding the 120-day proposed change. Maybe I didn't hear this when I was listening to it. I understood that if 120 days elapses while the mayor is still in their current term, then that interim department head must cease being paid and or cease being in that position. What happens if, say, 80 days elapses, the mayor's term ends, the mayor's reelected, can that department head stay in for another 120 days? Does that kind of violate the intention of the act?
We normally don't respond, but no. So, well, I don't want to speak to circumstantial situations, right? So, but the answer would be no. It would. Okay. It should be one individual or appointment per term.
Okay, thank you. That's why I spent some time in Model UN in high school, and so understanding that commas and periods can be used and abused by people looking to do that. Third would be coming before you again, as always, to discuss some of the impacts I'd like to see of, especially really Bill 1 and amendments I'd like to see to Bill 1. I've spoken a couple times with several council members about trying to require all law enforcement, local, state, and federal, to visibly identify themselves. If they have badges, visibly display badges, visibly display agency affiliation. I know Pennsylvania already has a law requiring all of their officers to have identification upon request, and in a lot of instances visibly display their agency affiliation. I would love to see Harrisburg pass just a blanket, all law enforcement must display. Obviously there's things like SWAT that have to be accepted, but in all other general cases, identification must be visibly given, must be visibly seen, as well as agency affiliation. I know in DC, law officers must provide their information in writing upon request. I think that would be really neat to see here as well. I know I have less than a minute. I do have some, I'm not gonna read them now, but I may email them to you later, just some examples of other states that have passed legislation about identification. I had a conversation a while ago with Councilman Jones about not being able to ban masks. I know that 23 states do currently ban masks in some capacities, such as one may not wear certain face coverings in commission of a crime. And so I would be interested if anyone has more knowledge on that than I do about having a more nuanced discussion so I can kind of understand where some of these thought patterns are. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone to my left that would like to offer public comment?
Good evening, Council. Libby Prophet, 2000 block of Chestnut Street. About those billboards, it'll be nice if the vacant billboards are publicized for the local community, that individuals that want to use it can lease it, because for $1,000 a year, whew, those are some great prices. I've been looking at marketing, and if you guys have billboard and us, if we can get it for that price, those are some great prices. Now, as far as the, I heard Ms. Muhammad mention something about the grids, the connection between what the Public Utility Commission is doing. They had a hearing today about it. And it's important because we are paying more because our energy is being outsourced to Maryland and Virginia. They're keeping it in data banks over there, and then they're selling it back to us at a higher rate. So it coming to the Dauphin County area is a way that they're trying to balance the cost. I think it'll be good for us to bank some of our own energy. I spoke to a senator today, Senator, she's from the Lancaster area. She was speaking about how two of the companies in her area within the last year lost over 100 employees each that was generating energy, and how the cost of them generating this energy supersede what they could actually afford. So she lost jobs in her district because the price of energy is going up. So I understand there's environmental issues, but we can't be producing all this energy and having it bank in Maryland and Virginia while their energy cost is going down and our energy in Pennsylvania cost is going up. So that is something I wanted to balance. And again, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else to my left that would like to offer public comment? Okay, seeing and hearing no one. Councilwoman Rawls, you had a number of announcements you'd like to make.
Yes, I do. Good evening again, everybody. I just wanted to make a few announcements about some things happening this weekend and next week. So this weekend, I'm sure we all saw the press conference the administration made on the Ice and Fire Festival. So I just wanted to remind everybody, it's going to be 70 degrees on Saturday. So although the ice may melt a little bit, I think it would be a great time for us all to finally get outside. The snow and the freezing rain has definitely kept us indoors long enough. So that is going to be this weekend. From 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And I think it's just a great way to get some foot traffic in our city and just have some fun. So I wanted to remind everybody again about the Fire and Ice Festival. It's going to be around here 10 North 2nd Street. But I know there will also be, I think, a little bit on Front Street too, because I know they have fire pits and other activities. So that it will sure to be fun. I know it's fun every year I take my kiddos down. Next week, on Thursday, March the 12th, I'm going to announce this again next Tuesday during our legislative session, but I wanted to make sure residents could plan adequately. There's going to be a town hall meeting for 15th and Vernon Playground. for some building concepts and for residents to give their ideas. So that's Thursday, March 12th from 6 to 8 p.m. And it's going to be at the Hamilton Health Center, which is 110 South 17th Street. So I hope to see everybody out there. I put it in my calendar to come and hear what residents are requesting and asking for, and just to hear what the Parks and Recreation and Enrichment Department have planned for that playground. Also, roller skating is back. I know President Hill and I are enthused to see roller skating coming. That was something that we spoke about with the administration, and at the time, it was something that could not happen. And even though they went ahead and planned it, to have it, I would say I'm just really glad to see that it's happening, even if we weren't able to give any more input on it. So roller skating is back at City Island. It's going on Friday and Saturday night, starting March 7th through March 28th. There's Teen Tuesdays, which starts on March 10th. March 10th, March 17th, and March 24th. And Teen Tuesdays are from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. This roller skating will be going on at the Carousel Pavilion on City Island, which is right across from the Carousel. It's from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Adult skate is from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. We love to see your adult moves. I have no more, but I can roller skate backwards. Children 16 and under must be accompanied by an adult. Attendees 17 and up must provide ID for attendance. The entry fee is $5. Skate rental is $2. Chips are $1 and candy is $2. So I hope to see everybody out there. I know it was fun when I took the kiddos last year. So those are just a few of my announcements of what's coming up and happening in the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Jones.
Yes, thank you. So I just want to put out to the public that the National Coalition of 100 Black Women Incorporated, the Harrisburg chapter of Public Policy, is hosting Enough is Enough, Gun Violence Demands Real Solution. One of the keynote speakers would be Dr. Sylvia C. Washington. This will be happening Saturday, March 28th from 12 noon to 3 p.m. at the Community Charter Academy, 1 Innovation Way, Harrisburg, PA 17110. Again, I'll be making this announcement up until that date. I think this is something that all of the nonprofits, everyone that's working out there with our youth, something to get involved with. I think this is going to be a great program coming to our area, great opportunity to network with other individuals facing these same issues in their communities. So again, that'll be March 28th, Saturday, March 28th from 12 to 3 at the Commonwealth Charter Academy. And this, again, is hosted by the 100 Black Women here at their chapter here in Harrisburg. So thank you.
Thank you. If there's no further business, the time is 7:08 p.m. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.